We begin today with the postponement of the start of the baseball season. Baseball owners presented what they called their final offer late this afternoon, and the Players Association has rejected it unanimously. Commissioner Rob Manfred announced just minutes ago that the league has canceled the first two series of the regular season. Wilbon, your reaction to all of this?
That's what I thought. I mean, I don't see why anybody would really be surprised. We've been talking about this since the end of last summer, certainly into fall, into the October Classic, about how these two sides, the history of it, where we thought they were now. We just had Jeff Passan, you and I, right on our show last week. I mean, there didn't seem to be any reason for optimism. Optimism, Tony, was incredibly naive. And for those people who thought, well, maybe the sides have softened their positions against each other over the years. No. I mean, Jeff, who is plugged in as anybody covering the sport, said, no, the two sides still hate each other. So what were we going to see that was going to lead us to believe that the season would start on time? The only question now is, how long are we talking about? Are we talking about a season which is destroyed from the front instead of the back, like 1994, and then 1995 was from the front? Yeah. Is the season going to be destroyed, or are they going to get themselves together at a time where I don't believe the country has any stomach for this, pull themselves together, look beyond, outside of themselves, and say, fellas, we need to put a product out there. I don't think they're that smart. I don't think they're that instinctive. I don't think that they care that much about what the general public thinks. And I think we could be looking at a season that is destroyed. Maybe not entirely missed, but destroyed.
So I'm going to take the naive point of view, because I thought they were going to come to a deal, because they worked till 2:30 in the morning last night. And I figured what you'd be able to do is come back in the morning and they'd be close on a bunch of things. I spent a couple of hours today watching the MLB network, and they would show the numbers and how far apart they were. And Mike, honestly, it didn't seem that far apart that they couldn't meet in the middle. If they were 50 million apart, one side, you know, the thing about negotiations is both sides have to feel pain. Both sides, to get to the middle somewhere. And I thought on everything other than the luxury tax, they were close enough that they could get this done. I dispute the notion that the players rejected it unanimously. You have to say that, Mike. You can't ever tell the other side that 40% of the people think that they should take this. Yeah. So I don't know. I know you're more pessimistic than I am. I don't know that the entire season will be destroyed. I think it could still start by May 1st. But, you know, a long time ago, we learned the phrase, the answer to all your questions is money. And both sides have to come towards the middle. And apparently that did not happen this early, you know, because the owners probably don't care if they play in April. They probably don't.
Yeah, Tony. But you know what? Going to 2:30 last night, so what? If they'd gone to 2:30, you know, maybe going back to sometime in January. But, of course, deadline pressure is all both sides seem to care about, and they're not particularly motivated until they face that deadline pressure. I'm curious now to see if people say, like they did coming into 1995, to hell with baseball for a while. And it took baseball years to recover. They had to get the home run race. They had to get Sosa and McGuire. They needed some sort of inner workings of baseball. They got lucky. I wonder what's going to happen now. Tony, the world is in a much different place, in a much more cynical place, in a much less tolerant place than it was in 1994-95 right now, with COVID, with war, with things that people are good. I think people are going to say, you know what? We're sick of you both. Go away. We don't need you. But let's see if I'm being too hardline on that.
Well, I will just say this very briefly.
Okay.
That's why they only canceled two series. That's why you don't cancel a month.
Yes, you want to see if they're
cancel as
motivated
little
to
as you
get this done before
can to get back into it. Yes.
That's the only move.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.